Hey, what's going on, everybody? You are listening to the That's Offensive podcast for January 16th, 2018. How is everybody doing? What's going on? How are you? Just doing a little test run to see how everything is going. Pretty much, yep. Just trying to see what's going on here. Yep, just gearing up for trying to get my ducks in a row, so to speak, to get this podcast back up and running again. I mean, so many things have been going on in the past year and a half. It's actually been a little under a year since I last did the podcast, because I only did a couple in 2017. So yeah, just trying to figure out what to do here. So, yep, just doing test here. Just doing a test. Ash, you're already here, huh? Ash is already here. Whoa, you changed your little thingy thing. It's about frickin' time. Or no, effing time, the F word? Is that how it should be? Okay. But yes, I'm just, this is obviously going to be a rough draft here. This is going to be quickly deleted here. But yeah, I'm just wanting to get my ducks in a row here. I've been thinking about this for about a couple months here. Just how I want the podcast to be here, because the podcast needs to start again. The podcast definitely needs to be starting again, because with Ash's help, this podcast has actually become, more than just like 3 viewers or listeners or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, whatever works. So yeah, I need to get this thing up and running, and I am going to get this thing balanced. Well, and also I'm going to figure out a logo. Well, Ash said that she'd help me here a while ago. So I already got the logo for the That's Offensive podcast already figured out, already ready to go. I just need a computer savvy, which, to be honest, it's not computer savvy. It's basically a person that just knows how to do font and press a button, which is not me. Which also is one reason why this is so interesting or so funny or ironic, the fact that I can even work this podcast. Oh, on a different note, Ash, I have to let you know that this is I've been listening. I on the whole Spreaker thing, I liked a couple of your podcasts, and you obviously deleted them. But for some reason, if you like a podcast or whatever it is, or an episode of the podcast or whatever, you can actually save them regardless if you delete them, which is I don't really like, but still, it was actually kind of, which was kind of funny, because I remembered one of your podcasts was, oh God, what was the title? It was like your first week of school. It was I'm Approachable. That's what it was. Your podcast title was I'm Approachable. And on the before you started the podcast, you played 10 years Miss whatever it was. It was a 10 years song. I can't remember the title. Actually, to be honest, I'll probably accidentally cut you out. But let's see here. Nope. All right, so 10 years. Just typing in Miss Kalania. Miss Kalania? Yeah, that was the song. Miss Kalania. Anyway, you played that song, and I thought it was fucking awesome. And this was like in August of 16, I think. Whenever you started school. yeah. It was a while ago. But anywho, but yeah, he played that song, and I loved it ever since. And recently, the past like 10 months or so, or 6 months, whatever, I've been getting back into the song, especially the past couple months. I've been listening to your podcast, because that's the only time I've been able to listen to your podcast, because you haven't done many in the past like 6 to 8 months or so. Yeah. But so the great thing about that was of that song, and to get to the stupid point here, babbling asshole, was the fact that 10 years is coming to Portland, Oregon here in the next couple weeks, and I am going to go to the show. I haven't bought the tickets yet, but it's, with all due respect, it's 10 years and it's a small venue and the tickets are cheap. So I'm going to go see 10 years live here on February 2nd. So yeah, I'm going to see 10 years. Oh, and also I'm going to see here Meshuggah at the Crystal Ballroom in downtown Portland here in a week and a half. I've been waiting for that stupid band to play for so long. Never seen them live. No. Alright, well, let's see here. Alright, so Ash, you are an artsy-fartsy girl. Or at least the fact that you know technology. So, the point is, for some reason, good metal bands have been showing up the past 8 months or so. Black Label Society is also coming to the Roseland Theater in downtown Portland also, and I would love to see them too. Comedy is big in Portland, but metal is not. But man, the past like 6 months or so, it's been pretty big. I went to a rock show. Well, I wouldn't say a rock show, but I went to a. How would you categorize a band that does the unsa music, whatever you want to call it, the little DJ shit, but it's more so rock, but also melody at the same time. It was oh god, I really need to go to the doctors and check my Alzheimer's. Ugh, man. It's gonna take an hour to find that band. No, it wasn't that band. Let's see here. In October, I saw this band, and Bill Burr's podcast, comedian, famous comedian Bill Burr, his Thursday morning podcast, just after Friday podcast, whatever you want to call it. The guy who organizes and edits the podcast, he plays a bunch of random bands and songs and all that stuff, and he played one song that I just fucking loved, and it's gonna take me another 5 to 10 minutes here trying to skip through my liked YouTube video things. And this is how like a young old man like figures out how to keep track of stuff is just liking videos on YouTube. That's what I got. I don't like download stuff because I don't got the mental capacity for it, little impatience for it. So I just save it on YouTube. Protest the Hero, Fear Factory, Deftones, Ozzy with Lita Ford, very nice. Close My Eyes Forever, that's a great song. Machine Head,
Animals as Leaders, great band. Paramore, but that's like the only song that I like from them. Marilyn Manson, of course. Where the hell's this song at? Killswitch Engage, Meshuggah, Metallica, of course. Adele. I actually like a couple songs from Adele. She's actually also Tool. And then, of course, Von DiCarlo, Patrice O'Neal's widow. But he died, not her. She did her song Honest Righteousness on acoustic. Great song. Oh my gosh. So I'm really going to have to just like go all the way back up because I totally missed the song. Where the hell is the song? Hailstorm did a really great cover of Daft Punk. Get Lucky. Hailstorm, Get Lucky cover. Daft Punk cover. Really good. Oh, and State of Mind, like mine as in I'm in the minefields. Because they capitalize. Well, State of Mind. I don't know. All I know is this goofy metal band is awesome. They, by far the most shocking cover I've heard in a very long time. State of Mind, metal, like, whatever, I don't know what the style they are. They're like super heavy, like goofy guitar sounding stuff. But they did a cover of Katy Perry's Rise. And it's phenomenal. It's actually phenomenal. State of Mind, Rise, rock cover, whatever. Look it up on YouTube. You'll see like this like blue and green or blue and red, like little facey artsy fartsy stuff. It's actually a really fucking good cover. And actually, the original Katy Perry song is actually good too. I actually like a Katy Perry song. Ugh, Jesus. Oh, and another damn good band is Unlocking the Truth. They are they're like teenager bands. They identify as African American, but they're a bunch of young kids playing metal music. And Unlocking the Truth, My Chains, is a damn good song in my personal opinion. It reminds me of Resident Evil, the first movie, not the video game, but the movie. Reminds me of Marilyn Manson's Seizure of Power a little bit. But just look up Unlocking the Truth, My Chains. I think it's awesome. Mind you, the guys are like 15, so just calm down. Where the hell is this damn song? I literally cannot find this to save my ass. Nope. Deftones, Sex Noise. Nope. Rammstein, Sunni. Nope. All That Remains, It Dwells in Me. That's a damn good song. Wow. Phenomenal song. That's one of my like energy go-to songs. Metal songs right there. And I cannot find the song to save my ass. Zombie by Tool, of course. Great song. National Acrobat by Black Sabbath is one of my favorites. That's a great song. Thunder Underground by Ozzy. Osmosis album came out in like 96, I think. Phenomenal. Wow. Yep. I'm pretty sure I am not going to find the song. Yep. But anyway, I simply cannot remember the song, so fuck it. So let's see here. Like Screamo Electronica. Yeah, Screamo Electronic was that Rise song Katy Perry. It's really fucking good. There's a band called the Browning that's kind of like that. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll check them out. The Browning. That's cultural appropriation, Ash. Killswitch is great. Unfortunately, I like their African American singer more. So I could have seen them a couple times, and they didn't have their singer, their second singer, now their original singer back. So I'm not a big fan of his. He's okay. He seems more punk. He's more punkish, and I'm not a big fan of that. As far as with Killswitch, so. Yeah, I should do him as music show. I'd love to actually because I should do him as music show. I'm just too stupid to figure out how to like make it work. I literally need to be trained to the barest of bones of how to do it. Because I would love to do like what you do with Ash. It's like you play a 4-minute song and then you talk and do your thing. Like, I forgot which song it was, but there was like Latinos that were doing, it was one of the shows that you had me go listen to. Like, they played a bunch of like songs and stuff, and then in the middle of it, they'd go back to it, and it was like a drinking game podcast or whatever it was. I would love to do that. That would be fucking awesome. There's also a podcast on Spreaker. Also, it's called like that classic metal show or whatever it is. It's like the podcast radio show thing. It's like two older 40-year-old dudes that like talk about just random stuff. But they interview all the metal guys. They interview Philip Anselmo and all the guys from Rat, and they literally talk about or interview everybody in the metal music community. But also they talk about like the shit that I like to talk about. Also is like the cultural appropriation bullshit and political correctness and feminism, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. You get the picture. So it's a really good podcast. So I would check them out. 3GYM or 3G1M. Wow. I'm a fucking idiot. 3G1M. I have no idea what that is. I don't know if that's a band or a song or a computer reference. What does that mean? I don't know. But yeah, here I want to oh, that's what it is. Okay, duh, that's the stupid... I'm an asshole. That's the show. Drinking a podcast you listen to. Yeah. That was a good show. And the funny thing is, when I was listening to their show, I messaged them multiple times, and they're like I said, they were playing a bunch of songs and stuff, and I mentioned a bunch of metal bands and songs and stuff, and they played two of them. They played Meshuggah Bleed and the All That Remains song that I just mentioned. And the funny thing is that every time the people play that song "Bleed" by Meshuggah, they always cut it short from the solo. Like it's like they play like 4.5 minutes of it, and right when it gets to the metal, the solo, they stop the show, and that's what they did too. Mind you, it's I get it. It's like a 7.5, 8 minute long song, but they cut off the solo. I mean, it's not like Eddie Van Halen great, but it's still it's a Meshuggah solo. It's still good, but yeah. I was a little bummed they didn't play it, but hell, they still play this stuff that I listen to, which was cool. So yeah, 3G1M, 3 guys, 1 mic. yeah. What should what should my podcast be renamed as? 1 douche, 1 phone. I don't know. How's the audio though, Ash? I remember you talking about the audio being actually pretty damn good, and you being surprised it was actually from a phone. Yeah, but yeah, that was a fun show to listen to. Really fun. But yeah, getting back to the whole That's Finn's podcast thing, is yeah, all I need to do is get the logo, and then I'm good, because for someone who still surprised, was about to ask if you were still using your phone. Yeah. Well, I got a new phone the past year, so I got like the new up and dated phone, or whatever you can call it. But yeah, so I'm assuming that the audio is even better now. So that's one thing right there. So I'm assuming the audio is really good. And the funny thing is, I started this podcast 2.5, 3, whatever years ago, using a phone like I always do.
with an older phone, so I was surprised that the audio was good. Let alone, yeah, with this phone, it's still weird to me that you can actually make a podcast with a phone. It's still so weird. So weird. So weird. But anywho, yeah, I want to get a damn logo. It's not going to be intricate or something crazy. It's just, just the title and a lady's face in black and white. That's all I want. It's simple enough. That's all I want. And I was actually thinking a couple months ago, well, actually for the last year, to just to literally just write some goofy little to write That's Finta Podcast on a piece of paper and just take a picture of it and just use it as the logo. But yeah, I didn't do it. I couldn't. I didn't have the heart to do it. It's like, ugh. I want the logo to actually be professional, minus what you're hearing now. Don't let that distract you. But yeah. Oh, I mean, here I am babbling about a bunch of boring shit, and I won't even talk about what happened in the last fucking year. Well, okay, let's talk. I'm going to talk about a little bit of what has happened in the last year or so. Obviously, when I stopped doing the podcast, especially consistently back in like March, April-ish of 2017, Trump already became president, blah, blah, blah. We get it. But what was really significant was the fact that let's just say this. The Hollywood sexual harassment allegation, rape, blah, blah, blah thing. I mean, I thought that the Cosby stuff was going to be pretty big. Which, of course, it was. But now the Cosby stuff is just yet another little thing that that is just mentioned. Holy good God Almighty! Holy good God Almighty! How's that for a change? Who'd have thought that child exploitation and sexual assault and rape would be part of Hollywood? You thought Hollywood would be so pure with it being so liberal. And I hate being so emphatic about this but still, it's just, I'm not a fucking Republican or righty or any righty and libertarians. I'm none of that shit. I mean, like, I get the fact that some of the shit I say would sound this way. In fairness, I think it's very fucking toxic to subscribe to a political group. Especially political, because I mean, you see. I mean, look at the last election here. I mean, you see all this tribalism that has gone so amok. I mean, people defending Trump for the shit that he said, like it's nothing, and people subscribing to Hillary for the shit that she said and done with the wars and the emails and supporting the invasion of Iraq. I mean, and people are just like, oh, well, it's lesser of two evils. It's like, no, it's not how it works. No. If we're really this badass, amazing country, like we should separate ourselves from a orange-haired cunty douche and a lady who is so bad at her fucking job and so stupid or so corrupt or whatever the word truly is with Hillary, to where we defend her so religiously, just like we do Trump. It's just, I mean, mind you, Trump's apparently doing an amazing job. according to the righties. But you listen to liberals, he's horrible, and he's, racism, and, what, it's just, and that's why it's so fucking annoying listening to this shit. It's just, is there really any point listening to, and well, actually, the point is all these fucking late night talk show hosts. And the comedy, the thing that kills me the most is Comedy Central. Is, what's that, African American, like literally African American guy, or British American, what? I don't know what the fuck. He's a black dude that's violently liberal. What's that guy's name? It's John Oliver, or whatever his name is, that British guy. He's a fucking tool, but the pretend comedian guy. What's his name? Central host. Ty Oliver? Oh, Trevor Noah. Wow, I'm close. Trevor Noah. That guy is such a fucking pussy-whipped fucking tool. It makes me sick. Oh, God, that guy is such a white knight douche. It's so sad. And the fact that he subscribes as a comedian, former stand-up comedian, and he says such, like, super political shit. Like, Bill Maher, I mean, I don't know if this is just, it has to be, but part of me thinks, like, the whole Bill Maher thing, how he's a stand-up comedian, does a show, and he's super liberal, but at least he has the mindset to at least criticize Islam. Noah would not criticize Islam in any way, shape, or form. He would criticize Christianity and all that shit. Of course, Catholic priests, all that stuff. Oh, yeah, he's down to talk about Catholics, but he would not he fucking defends Islam in a way that just seems so fucking phony. Just like how he defends women all the time. Women need to be defended, men need to be defended, black people, we get it. We get it. We all need to defend. It's just when people defend so much, it gets to a point where it's creepy. Or to where you kind of go, does this motherfucker actually defend the group that he says he's defending? Or is he just trying to get his way in to get some more ass, or to be more of a political figure, or get more of a paycheck, or be more liked? I don't know. All I know is Trevor Noah is the biggest pussy fart in late night television. It's really fucking sad. I hate that guy so much. I really fucking do. Ugh, I really do. He's just so terrible. And the fact is, he's a former stand-up comedian. It's so sad. It's really sad. But on that note, but yeah, it's just hard to defend any of the tribes anymore. It's really hard. Because when you listen to, there was a video about one of the co-hosts, the guy with the really douchey, one of the Fox guys with the really bad overflow of brown hair, dark hair, and has that really condescending, douchey laugh, was interviewing a guy about how liberals, oh God, I gotta look at it. Because it was just, I like what this guy does, but at the same time, it just really makes me hate the guy, because he's so condescending and so just like, it's just Fox News for you. But it was Trucker Carlson. But yeah, the title of the video was "Nothing upsets a leftist like the truth," and Andrew Klavan,
the bald guy with glasses. But he talked about basically what we've been talking about for a couple of years now. Oh, because I'm the only one. No, he was talking about how just simply how if you mention things like how the black community is the most violent, they're responsible for the most, statistically, the majority of the violent crime. You say the leftists will say, nope, that's racist, that's cultural appropriation, or whatever the SJW term they want. But what this guy's saying is like, no, it's like literally this is what the facts are. So how do we fix it? Do we fix it by saying white privilege, or do we fix it by acknowledging the fact that this is actually 50% or the majority of the problem? So how do we fix it? And the goofy thing is about the whole majority-minority thing, which liberals and the left, and especially the SJWs, are not keen on, is their selective rhetoric when it comes to the majority and the minority topic. The majority of people in power in America, and especially in history, that have oppressed people have been white heterosexual men or white men. Very true, and honestly not that great of a thing, but it was a good thing, I guess, to some degree, but it was not really a good thing, especially since, I don't know, the whole slavery thing, you get the drift. The whole oppression of women, not being able to vote, blah, 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 we get the drift, yes. But when it comes to the majority of, I don't know, people who kill themselves in America, men, 4-1, almost 4-1, over 4-1, whatever. The majority of false rape allegations, men, women who are the persecutors, or the perpetrators. So just one of the other things. It's like if it's not the white heterosexual man, it's then the whole minority majority thing. It's not relevant. I don't know. This is what happens when you spend too much time at college. Oh, Ash, if you're even still there, have you noticed anything about your college? Obviously, you don't need to tell me where you're going or if you're still going there or whatever, but your time there, have you noticed anything about the rhetoric from the Women's Resource Center, the propaganda, the Multicultural Center, the college campus in general? Have you noticed anything about their rhetoric at all? Have you seen anything on your end in Texas land? If you're still living in Texas? Because I'd be curious to see what your Texas end has to say about white people and transphobia and all that stuff. The typical social justice warrior rhetoric. And the Golden Globes. No, nothing really seems to. Okay, good. Jesus Christ, that's good. Whew. Thank God. Well, just wait till if Milo wants to speak there, or Ben Shapiro, or one of those guys. But that's good though. That there's nothing really that different. That's good. But the Golden Globes. Did anybody watch that? The Golden Globes. Oof. Wonderful. It was really nice to completely miss that, because holy Jesus Christ. LGBT, yeah. There's a you have an LGBTQ support group now, I think. Yes, we actually have a queer resource center too, which is actually really cool because we didn't have that. The college has been starting to try to get a queer resource center for the past couple of years. They've probably been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know, but they've been really pushing for it the past year and a half. 2 maybe, and they got it a year ago to where it's actually like they got their own space and stuff like that, so it's actually really cool. So yeah, it's really very, very necessary for LGBTQ people to have their own community in college and stuff like that. So that I was really happy that they were actually to have nothing, then go to something, and not only something, but just something relevant to where they can actually like start doing their own thing. Where it goes from there is another story. So that's really cool. But we'll see. But just as long as it's not another social justice warrior, white male hating bullshit center, I'm completely fine with that. Just we don't need one-sidedness. We already got enough of that. No need for tribalism. But the Golden Globes with Oprah Winfrey as the potential next president. Jesus Christ, mind you, she is one of the most best successful stories in America. I remember years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, watching a Black History Month type of whatever thing. I really don't remember. He's dismissive of black culture. Black History Month or something. That's racism. He wants black people back in the fields. This is what happens when you spend too much time in college. Anywho. Ugh. But to where they showed Oprah's story, and she had what you call a rough upbringing, being raped by a family member, and I think being impregnated by that, and a miscarriage or abortion by that, or whatever it was, but being obviously raped by a family member. So she went from being in the 50s and 60s, I think. She's about 60s, late, mid-60s, around there. Just being violently oppressed. Violently broke. Violently poor. No wealth, no future, no nothing. Being raped and all this other disgusting shit. To literally being one of the most powerful people in America. And being probably the most powerful woman in America. I mean, is there anybody more powerful in America than Oprah? She's a billionaire, multi-billionaire, not huge multi-billionaire, but you're billionaire for Christ's sake. So I don't know, but Oprah being the next president, that was like that Golden Globes. It went from Ricky Gervais calling out truths about how pretentious Hollywood is, and about how they're so fake and phony, about how they just like how Mel Gibson did his anti-Jew rant or anti-Jew rant, quote unquote, or whatever it was, and being a just violent drunk and all that crap, and just all that goofy stuff with the Mel Gibson tapes, and just all the funniness with Hollywood, and calling all the celebrities and making jokes about them, and the fact that remember when he called out Tim Allen for just being a nobody, because pretty much he kind of is, or at least was at that time. He didn't really have much. I mean, he was a has-been. In the 90s he was amazing, but he was with Tom Hanks, and they were doing the whole Toy Story promo. Like, Tom Hanks is amazing, one of the best and one of the most prosperous actors out there. Ash says if Oprah, were to actually run, I can almost guarantee she'd be elected. I really think so too. Yeah, it's just, you see the tone. And that's why I think she'd be elected. Because, and mind you, I'm just one douchebag, and I've always acknowledged the fact that I'm just one dope here, but I've talked about how Trump can win. In 2016, when I first started this podcast, the first year stint when I did the podcast, and Trump started doing his thing and actually running and actually starting gaining steam, I remember talking about why he became irrelevant. It was the fact that he just said a lot of shit that people were thinking, or he was just being erratic.
He was a different politician, quote unquote. But he was he didn't win because of Republicans or white people or men or because of him as much. It was because he won because of the opposition. He won because of Hillary. He won because of the liberals. He won because of social justice warriors in the last 2 years. He won because of social justice warriors and third wave feminism, Black Lives Matter, burning their own territories out of protest of something that they didn't even know had happened. Black Lives Matter in Milwaukee in 2016 destroyed their neighborhood because they thought a white cop, killed an unarmed black guy, and it turned out that the black guy was killed by a black officer, and he ran and he committed a crime and he had a gun on him. So they burnt their neighborhood down because they think that they're victims. That's the victimhood mentality, and that is so huge. Feminism, the biggest cancer in all of America. Oh, God, words cannot describe how awful feminism is for women and men in America. It's nothing more patronizing than... You think that men talking down to women is patronizing? What about women talking down to other women? Oh, God, women telling women what to do with their bodies. You should have an abortion. It's all good. And again, I could give a shit if you have abortion. I'm pro sucking a baby out. Do your thing. I don't want to have a kid. It concerns me too, and it concerns fathers too. And that's another thing. Wrong with feminism is that they only talk about women. Again, yet one of the other details about feminism and liberalism that is so fucking sick and putrid is the fact they only talk about women. This is yet another grave detail, blatant evidence of the fact that they're so sick and so wrong and so ignorant and so self-absorbed is the abortion thing. I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. I personally think the conservative way is that you're literally killing somebody, taking a life away. I think it's not. I wouldn't say murder, but it kind of is. But you're literally taking out a life, so I guess it's murder. But I'm for it because I don't want to have kids and because rape happens. Yes, I know. I get the whole, 1% of whatever happens with, yeah, I get it. Whatever stats you like, you sound like feminists. 59 out of whatever 1% of rape victims are women, not men. I get it. We have our stats. We all have our stats that we like. The point is, I would just kind of hope that if a woman were to be raped and be impregnated, she would have the right to say, hey, I don't feel like being a mom. Just like I sure as hell do not think that a man should pay alimony or child support for a kid that he does not want to have. And I'm not talking about the douchebag, shitty father thing. I'm talking about a man who said, I don't want to be the father. I didn't subscribe for this. I wore protection. I did a thing. You did a thing. We got pregnant. I don't want to be a father. You do. You want to be the mother. Okay, you be the mother, but I don't. But yet you still have to pay all this money for it. And mind you, it doesn't always work that way. And yes, I know douchebag fathers. There's a lot of them. And unfortunately, there's a lot of them out there. Point being, it's murder. Unfortunately. But I don't, I'm pro-abortion. That's how it works. So why Trump won? Is because liberals literally shot themselves in the foot. Banning there's literally many details. The abortion rant that I just mentioned, and Ash, I'm just pro because I don't think it's the government's business. Me too. I view it as like gay people. You want to be married? Do your thing. It's none of my business. Just like trans people, it's none of my business. Don't be trans, don't be trans, whatever works for you. Don't force me to make payments
or taxes because you want to chop off your vagina or your dick or however it works for you. Don't make me or all the other hundreds of millions of Americans pay for it because you want to do that. That's your business, not mine, not the government's, no one's. You pay for that in your own free will. That's your business, your money. If you don't want the government or America controlling that your rights should be controlled because you're trans, okay, I'm with you. But when you tell me that the government is supposed to force me to pay for you, that's when you're a contradicting cunt and you don't deserve any respect or dignity or support. That's when you're being a self-righteous, self-absorbed, biased, having your cake and eat it too cunt. You are not righteous at all in any way, shape, or form. You are just a self-absorbed asshole. Stupid. That's another reason why Trump won. Another reason why Trump won is because of Berkeley in early 2017, when Antifa, who is literally the KKK, but in the liberal or the more whatever form you like, they're anti-Republican, they're anti-right, they're anti-establishment, whatever, they stink just like the KKK does, except for Antifa doesn't have that glorious decades and centuries of history. But nonetheless, they are awful and they're disgusting, and they prove that they're fascist and disgusting and bigoted just like KKK. And yet the left and all these Noah cunts and all these late night douchebags and all these college campuses douchebags, they all ignore it. They all focus on the KKK and ignore that. Feminism. One-sidedness. One-sidedness, every way, shape, and form, is feminism. And that's why I hate feminism the most out of all these things. I am not anti-women's rights as the typical college-leaning douchebag, left-leaning douchebag, SJW douchebag thing. Nope. I have nieces, I have sisters, I have mothers. I have hopefully a potential girlfriend, wife, whatever the hell it's going to be, and I want her to have as much opportunity and progression as possible. And the government or businesses or men or white guys, who you want to blame, oppressing them and shaming them and bringing them down is not my way of thinking, not my wants or needs, and not what is cool, not what should be in America. But is it really what's going on in America? Yeah, peppering. Unfortunately, yeah, there's peppering of it. There's a little sprinkles of it, and unfortunately, that happens, and it's not cool. And those people should be ousted. They should be completely fired without no pension, but of course they will. But call them out. Don't call out the guy who makes a joke about domestic violence. Don't say that his career needs to be ruined because of it. Actually go for the male guy that is not hiring women because they're women. Whatever it is, I don't care. Just have some consistency. The Pussy Hats. You remember the Pussy Hats in the Women's March? All right. Well, news update. What are you doing with your pussy hats? A columnist wrote. What are you doing with your pussy hats? And there's been articles and blogs about the Pussy Hat March. Months and months later, all these feminists, all these social justice warriors, all these people were so pro Pussy Hat and so anti-Trump and so blah, blah, whatever it is, that they are contradicting their own beliefs months later. This is what blogs and these feminists and so on and so forth have been talking about now. Not all of them, a minority of them, a chunk of them, whatever, but it's relevant. They're saying that the whole pussy hat thing is now degrading because the pussy hats are pink and they are dismissive of people with women, quote unquote, women with non-pink vaginas or sex organs. And also, it's also discriminatory and ignorant and dismissive of the people that don't have vaginas. The whole trans thing, it's. Can we have some consistency? It's just, can we have some consistency, please? It's, cannibalism. It's literally like cannibalism. It's like the Donner Party. Good God. The liberals and feminists and social justice warriors are like the Donner Party. It's so sad. And I would at least be humbled or intrigued or at least confused of why I am so against them, because that they've been consistent. It's like, no, they're not like eating themselves. They're not like screwing themselves over, contradicting themselves on an epic level consistently for years. No, they're literally they're staying on point. This is what they believe collectively. The majority of them believe this, and they're for this cause and that cause, and they're staying on point. But no, it's just the pussy hats are great, they're amazing, and then all of a sudden the pussy hats are racist. All of a sudden the pussy hats are transphobic. It's just like, is there no fucking consistency? No consistency whatsoever. That is so much of why Trump won, because people are so sick of the condescending bullshit of the left and social justice wars. It's just never ending. And believe me, I grew up in the 90s, born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, to where the religious right was doing exactly what the fucking social justice warriors and the left is doing now. Censorship, art censorship, comedian censorship, musician censorship. Who were the ones that were trying to tell America, the American youth and the parents of the world, that Prince and Madonna and all these metal bands in the 80s were saying all these offensive and vulgar stuff, and that they need to be censored and they need to have labels on them? It was the right. Mind you, Tipper Gore was, the head of it, but the religious right has been pretty damn consistent, especially in the 90s. No one was more fucking oppressive towards art than the religious right in the 80s and 90s. Especially the 90s. And now, bam. Last 15 years or so, it's especially been, especially the last like 6 to 8 years, it's been the left. Oh God, so annoying. Have some consistency. At least the right's been growing a little bit, or at least they haven't been bitching about the same stupid trivial crap. At least they have not been condemning comedians and condemning musicians. Yes, there's probably some. There's probably somebody out there. Oh no, okay, fine. Show me it, then fine. But consistently, like the left and like feminism and feminists and social justice warriors, Jesus Christ, not even close. That's like saying a multimillionaire has less money than a plumber. It's just, it's not even close.
So in closing, thank you, Ash, very much for listening to this goofy little podcast here. I definitely need to talk to you about getting to the logo, and I sincerely know that you'll be able to get this done in 14 seconds because I'm such a dope with this technology stuff. But yeah, it's we need to definitely talk here this weekend. We need to get shit figured out, and yeah, we're going to create a logo because I'm so incompetent when it comes to it. I think Ash is trying to. What do you think, guys? Do you think Ash is trying to push me for all my millions? I think she wants some compensation. I think she really does. Right? All right. Anyway, but yeah, thank you for listening to this podcast here. I'm gonna head out here. I got to make dinner. Ugh. I should have cooked. I should have cooked my chicken about half hour ago. I should have done a little cooking channel with you guys. But you know what's good though, is if you get. This is what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make this. I'm actually gonna talk more about cooking a little bit. I'm not gonna make some like little Chef Ramsay cooking channel, or some like hashtag hey look what I can do cooking channel. But oh hell, maybe I will because I actually love cooking. But you know what's really good? All right. If you want a little bit of a flair, those are the words I use when I have no idea what the true terminology of cooking is. You just take chicken legs, chicken drumsticks, whatever you got. You got to cut the tendons right at the little nub there. Cut it off, sever it a lip. Cut like 4 or 5 of them, whatever you like. And what you do is put olive oil all over it. Get just a little cinnamon, the ground cinnamon on the little spicy fucky fuck racks. Just put a little cinnamon all over that, just a little bit. Get some curry powder. Get some paprika, smoked paprika, whatever works for you. Do some basil, some oregano. And I do a little bit of the taco seasoning, just a little bit of the taco seasoning. And if you want to do like some onion powder or garlic powder would be good. I'm slowly transitioning to wanting to use more powdery things when it comes to onion and garlic, because I love just the regular garlic and onion. But anyway, just use that a little bit, mush it all around, and just cook it, and then cook it in the oven, of course. And then get some pita, get some hummus, put some olive oil on that, a little pepper on it. Put some sliced onions on that. Maybe if you didn't use the garlic powder, use just a little bit of garlic on that, diced garlic, fine diced garlic. But you gotta toast the pita bread, mind you. Toast it a little bit in the oven. But yeah, just shred the chicken on there a little bit and just do like little ghetto sandwiches. Because that shit's good. That's what I've been eating for a while. That stuff is amazing. Alrighty, this has been your That's Offensive Podcast / cooking channel. So yeah, oh yeah. I gotta get to a minute here. I'm 59 seconds in. So yeah, I just gotta get to 1 minute, and I'm gonna end on that. But yeah, Ash, I'll talk to you soon. I want to get this thing started because I desperately need to get this stupid little logo thing going because I don't have the capacity for it. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, on that note, I'm gonna close out here. So yeah, just I don't know. Maybe I don't know when I'm gonna do this next one again. Maybe Ash.
I miss my podcast too. I will come back soon. But on that note, have a good night, you cunts. I love you, Ash. Thank you very much. Goodbye.